You guys, what is up, and welcome back to a brand new video here today on the channel. Today we are walking down to one of my favorite all-time little juicy ponds, and we're gonna see if we can't get on some big early spring bass. So let's get right into it. All right guys, so like I said, today we're coming back out to one of my favorite little local ponds here that I come to all the time just because it has a ton of fish in it. And more specifically, today we're gonna be looking at some of my favorite baits for the spring season, baits that are going to work in the pre-spawn, during the spawn, and then again after the spawn, during the post-spawn season. So we're going to be going over 2 or 3 baits that I always have tied on during the spring time of year, and I always get on a lot of fish with them, so hopefully we can find some today as well. But let's get our stuff down, let's get our baits in the water, and see if we can't get on our fish. I'll tell you a little bit more about the baits that I'm gonna be using. Let's go. All right guys, so the first 2 baits that I have tied on, these are 2 baits that I always have tied on during the spring. One is going to be the jig, and one is going to be this little wacky rig. And it really depends on when you're fishing. If you're fishing in a small little pond, a secluded pond like this, a bait like this wacky rig is just gonna be such a great presentation for a small little pond like this. I also have that jig tied on if there are any fish on beds, and also to get on bigger bites. A third bait that I like using, something that I don't use quite as often, but is one of my favorite baits for a little bit bigger bite, is just a jointed swim bait like this. And we'll be going through these kind of one by one, see if we can't catch any fish. But start out with this wacky rig and this jig, walk around this whole pond, and I'll kind of show you how I fish them, and maybe we can't even find some of these big spring bass, because they are definitely starting to come up shallow this time of year. Little guy just destroyed it. Got him. I mean, that is a little micro guy, one of the smallest fish that I've caught out of this pond. It's not a super good representation of fishing with a bait like this wacky rig, but it's the first fish of the day. Nice little fish. I'm sure we'll get on some bigger ones. This is just a little micro guy. Let's get him back. There he goes. There are some bigger ones right there, but especially when you're fishing with a small bait like this wacky rig, you are going to get on some small fish. That is probably one of the smallest fish that I've gotten on in this pond ever, so it does get on some big fish as well, but it definitely gets on the numbers. Still such a cool eat. I saw that dude just come up and just crank that bait. Oh my God, there's a fish. Oh, on the swim bait. No way. Just literally jerking that bait in, and another little small guy just destroyed it. And that's why it's such a great bait for the spring. Just barely even hooked. I don't even know why this small little fish would eat that swim bait. Look at that. Decent sized little Mike Buka baby bull shad catches a little small guy. I said I would catch some bigger fish from that first one, which I'm sure we will, but I was not expecting this, throwing that big swim bait over there. You know, I'll take it. Let's get him back in the water. All right, decent little guy. On the swim bait, always a fun bite. On that Mike Buka baby bull shad, always seems to get those really cool reaction strikes in this, especially in this clear water where you can just see him destroy that bait. I was literally just jerking that in. Wasn't even paying attention, and all of a sudden, that fish was on there. Oh my God, came out and destroyed the jig. Okay, this dude's aggressive. Can't tell if it's a male just guarding it, or what. I just need him to eat the whole bait. He's gonna eat it again. He really likes it when I move it, like, just kind of. I mean, I'm like 3 feet from where this fish has been eating it, and I'm just ate it. Oh, just doesn't have the hook. I mean, it's not a super big fish, but I mean, easily big enough to get this jig. All right, this fish has played with me too much. It is going to get caught right here. It's gonna eat it. It ate it. Got the whole thing. There we go. Finally got him. Let's go. Just the biggest one of the day. Not a giant, but a decent little fish. Definitely on it, guarding that bed. And just annoyed him enough with that jig, with this wacky rig. And look at the nice lateral line on that fish. Gonna get this guy back in the water quickly, because he is, or she is, on a bed. But that is just a really cool looking lateral line. Definitely could see, definitely probably a female spawned out. Let's get him back in the water. All right, first bed fish of the day. Get him right back. Just carefully back in that same area. There he goes. Usually when you catch fish off of a bed, they will move away from the bed for just a second, and then they will come right back onto that same spot. He's still already circling this bed and chasing some of these bluegill off. So that fish is definitely, as long as you get him back in the water quickly, he's already starting to chase off those bluegill. Oh, he's got it. He's got it. Got it. There we go. There we go. Oh my God. My bail was open, but this guy destroyed it. I saw him cruising the bank, and he just killed it. On the wacky rig again. This bait is just cranking in the numbers today. Another tiny little guy on the wacky rig. Saw him cruising, and of course, could not resist the good old Googan Baits Slim Shake worm right here. I have not caught this fish yet. He ate it. Got him. There we go. I don't know if he was on a bed, but he was so locked. Oh my God. Massive bass right there. Massive bass. Literally just folded it in when I caught it. Oh my God. I wonder if you guys, oh my God. Oh my God. Do you see it? You see that? Oh my God. Oh my God. It's literally, it's following it. It's following it up the bank. That's a massive fish. All right, I'm gonna take this guy off the hook, but what the heck? That is a huge bass. Literally right up shallow. Oh my God. If he was gonna actually eat that, I would have taken him out. Just, maybe if I put my swim bait in there, he'll eat it. Oh my God. He literally, that's gotta be like 6 pounds. Just like came up and just, as soon as I caught that fish, I should have taken off that fish off the hook a little sooner, but oh my God. All right, guys, that was pretty insane. Literally hooked a bass that was just sitting on the bottom, and then probably what could have been a 6.5, maybe more pound bass comes in. I don't know if you guys could see it in the GoPro or not. I'm not sure if it ever quite surfaced on the top of the water, but just cranked it. Or it just absolutely destroyed that that bass that I had already on the line. The funny thing is, almost the exact same thing happened last year in a video where I was fishing with lettuce. I hooked a bluegill on the lettuce, and then that another, maybe the same fish, honestly, a giant bass comes in and chases it. I should have taken it out of the water quicker, because you don't want to stress those fish out too much when they're on a hook, and obviously that big bass was chasing that smaller one. But should have taken him out of the water and unhooked him a little bit sooner, but it was still so cool to see that giant bass just chasing it up the bank. I wonder if I hook like a bluegill in that same spot, if it would come back and come up shallow again. I caught, I think, oh, he got it, fish got it. Got him, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Let's go. What's that, number 8 on the day? Just cranked that wacky rig. If you guys are not throwing the wacky rig in the spring, you need to start doing it. because even though these fish are pretty small, if I switched up to maybe like a lunker log or a stick bait, I'm sure I'd be getting some bigger bites. And this guy is just feisty, ripping up my thumb. Just cranked it on the wacky rig, number 8 of the day. If you guys are not throwing the wacky rig, you're doing something wrong if you are having trouble catching fish. Obviously, baits like a chatterbait, a jig, a jig is something I always throw in the spring, but something else could get you on some bigger fish. But the wacky rig just gets on the numbers. Number 8, the last fish of the day. Let's get him back. There we go, guys. All right, that's going to be about it for today's video. Just ending it off with that last fish. A video that started out trying to showcase my top 3 spring baits, but really just ended up showing you how good and how effective the wacky rig is in the spring. If you're having trouble catching fish, you best believe that the wacky rig is one of the best baits you can throw. And I do like throwing the jig. I do like throwing the swim bait like I showed in the beginning of today's video, because if you guys have not seen my previous videos, they do get on big fish. A couple of 5-pounders that I caught on those 2 baits. And in a tiny pond like this, you really can't beat just getting on a ton of fish, even if you are throwing a wacky rig. But I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. It was definitely a fun one to film, and caught a lot of fish. Didn't get on the giant like I was hoping, but really hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure you hit that like if you did, subscribe down below if you're new to the channel, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.